his master's degree at DePaul University, and became the Chief Information and Revenue Integrity Officer at South Shore Hospital. He married his beautiful wife, Michelle, and they've been married for 17 years, and they have 2 beautiful daughters. Somehow, despite all of this and all the hats that he wears, he is still able to lead the NAACP Far South Suburban Branch as our President and AXO Committee Chair. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our President, Mr. Donovan Britton.
Thank you, Tiana. Well, I call it Q. Thank you, Q. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that's pretty good. I didn't give them all that stuff to say, but that's pretty good. But again, I want to just echo that sentiment. Thank you for coming to our 2018 Freedom Fund event. But tonight, we're going to hopefully wow you, excite you. We're going to talk about some things about what we're doing in the community. We're going to get a chance to talk and fellowship with one another. And so we're excited to expect to have a wonderful night this evening. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about today, real briefly before we get started, was really to give you a feel for this year's theme. It's moving forward together. It's inspired by a quote from Martin Luther King, which is apropos our video. And it was a quote where he says, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. Right. If you can't walk, then crawl." Mm-hmm. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. And this is truly the sentiment we have for this year. Because despite of whatever we might feel about our administration, despite the economic condition, despite the divisive rhetoric that we're hearing throughout our country, despite even in our own communities how we're somehow not coming and being unified together, despite all of that, we must still continue to move forward together. Mm-hmm. And so that's what's so important. And it's so interesting that thing is so important to us now, even today, and it's so relevant. And I say that because, as you heard in my bio, I started in NAACP when I was 14. Now I know it's probably 7 years ago, but it still was because I was a young person. I became interested and involved in NAACP as a teenager, and I have been here since. And I learned so much. I learned to have a voice. They showed me how to speak up for myself, how to use my voice to create change. And what's important is that we're seeing that today. I mean, things and the movements like Black Lives Matter, and now we have the Never Again movement for gun violence and gun control and gun rights. Those are rooted in the passions and voices of our young people. See, there's a rising now of youth engagement that we haven't seen since the Civil Rights Movement. And as adults, we must seize this opportunity to connect with our young people, to engage with them, encourage them, support them. I know sometimes we're kind of older, and so we may not have the same ways of doing things as they do. But their voice is so important, and now we're seeing how effective it can be. So as adults, we must ensure that we are supporting our young people. In fact, we can do that starting this coming Tuesday on March 20th. Election day. So if you know a young person, see, let me tell you something. What we found last election cycle, 2016, we didn't have a problem registering our people to vote, especially in the North. The problem we had was getting people out to vote. Yeah. You would be surprised at how many people just decided not to vote. Mm-hmm. And that's we continue on that slope, then we are going to be lost. I'm just going to be real honest with you. So it's important. If you know someone young, engage them. Take them to the voting polls. Get them out there. Educate them on why they should vote. And so we must continue to do that. And at the end of the day, I'll say over and over and over again, our things for 2018, our priorities are one, the election, because this is a game changer. Because even after this Tuesday, that's just half the battle. We have yet the midterm elections this November. And that's where the real magic begins. So let's be clear. We have Tuesday, and we're probably going to see some people here tonight who are going to maybe share a few words about who they are. But we'll still, in November is where we need to come out in full force. Now, let me say one thing. Now, one priority, as I mentioned, was voter education. The next one is our young people. I cannot stress it more. We must engage our young people. I think that when we have this opportunity, we must ensure that we train them in the way they should go. And so even through this program, such as the AXO program, which I became part of, it's our young mentoring program. And really that's what when I started even as an adult in the NAACP, I started off on the AXO program. And so it's a program where we get the opportunity to share, and we heard a little bit about it earlier, the talents of our young people. We get to see who they are. They compete in music and science and arts and entrepreneurship and business. And so we really get a chance to see who they are. And then they get to learn who they are through mentorship. And so our next, and I know I could talk all night about this. We have to keep moving. I know we're going to get a chance to eat. But it's truly a good kind of segue into our young people. And so coming up next, as we begin, I'm going to go into my inner Don Cornelius. We have Shawnee Daz who's going to perform for us tonight. We have the 833 band who are going to perform for us tonight. All these folks are coming from home of Baltimore. Now, I'll be remiss if I didn't tell you I'm from Hillcrest, the mighty home of the Hawks. That's right, that's right. Hillcrest, stand up. Stand up. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about Miss Daz. Hailing from the south side of Chicago, progressive soul singer, songwriter, Shawnee Daz. Her love for music started at a very young age. From growing up singing in elementary